Let's just start by saying that if you have an iPhone 10, you don't need to watch more videos about the XS Max or the XR. So you can stop watching right now, okay? Unless you like spending money for no reason or you're an Apple sheep. In any case, there's something wrong with you. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the new iPhone for the economically disadvantaged people out there. The XR. Hey guys, this is Z, and in front of me I have the best new value for money iPhone you can buy right now. It is $250 cheaper than the small S model and a whopping $350 less expensive than the starting price of the Max model. And you might think that it's $350 worth of compromises, right? Wrong. But let's start with all the negatives first. Sure, the display is one of it, and maybe the bezels, but if you can get used to this notch, you can get used to some slightly thicker bezels. Now the screen is where things go on the cheaper side. This time around, Apple is using a display called Liquid Retina, which sounds like a T-1000 liquid metal robot from the Terminator, but it's far less dangerous. It's an LCD panel, and it's more than obvious that it's missing some 1,256,724 pixels compared to the S model or even the older 10. But, and there's a huge but, when you wake up in the morning, I guarantee you that you won't be asking yourself, I wish I had a better OLED display with more pixels. It's an awesome panel, and I can vouch for it because I switched from the iPhone 10 and I have absolutely no regrets. Another noted saving in the XR is the lack of a second lens on the back, the telephoto lens to be more specific. The main shooter is the exact same technology that you get in the 1100 XS Max model, and yes, it has the beautiful portrait mode and all the other bells and whistles like post-blur edit and so forth. Now, coming from the 10, I can say that the camera improvement is significant. I was a bit skeptical at first, but when I started comparing shots, especially in low light, I was seriously impressed. The color science does look different this time around and photos appear a bit colder, but the end results speak for themselves. The last compromise that makes the XR your most sensible Apple phone choice is memory. With the XR you get 3GB instead of 4 like in the S models, but I'm sure Apple did this to shave off some weight. Will you notice the less RAM? I bet my house you won't. Ever. In the entire lifespan of this device. Unless Apple rolls out an update and takes a gigabyte for battery preservation. All jokes aside, with its A12 Bionic chip, which is the same like in the S models, this phone crushes pretty much everything else on the market, with the exception of its more expensive brothers. So rest assured, you won't notice any performance hiccups. And that's it. These are the 3 things that make the iPhone XR the affordable 2018 iPhone. Okay, there's a 4th thing missing, and that's the 3D touch. It's not existent because of the screen type, but Apple have simulated it quite nicely by holding gesture in combination with the haptic feedback. Okay, now let's talk about all the good points the XR gets. I've had iPhone Plus models in the past, and I've had the 10 since it came out. Currently, the XR sits in the middle of the size wagon, right between the XS Max and the regular XS. Personally, I use my phone a lot, and this size fits my needs precisely. It's not too big to hold, but the screen is as big as I'd like it to be for media and text consumption. I never thought it would be an issue, but the stainless steel frame of the old 10 and the new XS phones scuffs and scratches over time, and yes, a case won't save you. Now, I know there are some solutions to fix this annoyance, but that's not my motorcycle's chrome components that I prefer to worry about. With that being said, I'd take the aluminum frame over the stainless steel one, even though the stainless steel looks stylish and is indeed more grippy. The sound that comes out of the XR speakers is the same that you get in the S models, and as with the recent iPhones, it's quite good, stereo, loud, crisp and accurate. Talking about sound, a big annoyance is the lack of a headphone adapter in the box. I know it has been the expected direction Apple is moving to, but at least they should sell something that costs less than $9. The last thing that I want to mention here is the 10 hours battery. The 2942 mAh battery is bigger than what you get in the 10s model, and pretty much almost as big as the Max's one. But what's interesting here is the fact that the 10R beats all of them by a long shot. I haven't had such battery experience in a long time. For the last 2 weeks of usage, I've been ending the day with at least 30 to 40% juice left, if not more. So the iPhone XR starts at $749 for the 64GB variant, but that's not the phone you'll most likely want to choose. The next step is 128GB that costs $800. And it is the more practical choice. Although 64 would be enough for many people, with this phone I'm sure you'd snap a lot of photos and take quite a few videos, so better be safe and vouch for the middle 128 gigs. Also, this variant will keep its value better for when it's time to upgrade and you want to sell it. As far as color, my recommendation would be to follow what Henry Ford once said. You can have any color you want so long it's black. All jokes aside, all colors are great, but black is better because it looks more stylish, it makes the phone appear more premium, less bezelly, and again, it will keep better value over time. Also, the new black is more gray than you think, and Apple did a great job with it because it attracts less fingerprints than a complete black version. Also, the sides and the antennas look more inconspicuous in black as well. Let's not forget that you can always slap a skin on the back and change as many colors as you want. So, who is this iPhone for? I think the XR is the clear winner this year. We all know that 2019 will be the year of completely different iPhone designs, and this year the S and the R models are more or less upgrades. The R, however, is the more sensible choice for many people, and although it is supposed to be less premium of a phone, it is just as great as the S models, if not better in some cases. In other words, it is good for everybody that doesn't have a 10 model. Like I said, if you have a 10 model and you're still watching, there's something wrong with you. So, if you like this video, you know what to do. It's been an absolute pleasure. This is E, over and out.